Hey guys, it's Nathan down here again, and brought in another Danocaster. We did another video on a white guard with the slab rosewood board previously, so I'm back with a black guard, and this one is a 2021. It is actually built this month in June, so it's a brand new one. Calls a premium black guard, so it has a Bakelite pick guard on it, and it has Ron Ellis pickups in it, and then you have your blonde butterscotch finish maple board, and as you can see, it's got the skunk stripe, not a maple cap, and this one has an 88 V-shaped neck, so it's 88/100ths of an inch at the first fret, and it's a soft V shape. Got your flat pole pickup, brass saddles, standard 3-way switch on this one. So it isn't wired like an actual black guard would be with a dark circuit. It has your standard 3-way switching. And then, you know, it's pretty much just built to specs of a black guard. This, like I said in the last video that we did about the other Danocaster, this is pretty much as close as you're gonna get to a legit black guard without spending 30 grand on an actual black guard. These are quite a bit less than that. Of course, you're gonna get people saying that they're too expensive and it's not worth it, but hey man, it's up to you if it's worth it to you or not. You gotta play what inspires you, and whenever I walk in the room and I see one of these sitting in the corner, I don't care what I went into the room to do, I'm picking it up to play it. So at the end of the day, that inspiration that you get from each guitar is priceless. So only you can decide if it's worth it for you to spend the money on it. Because yeah, these are pricey. It will cost you a little more than a custom shop Fender. But the quality that you're getting, the attention to detail that you're getting, all the specs, everything on it is going to blow any Fender out of the water. You know, I've played my fair share of black guards, and this one is on par with at least everyone and better than quite a few of the ones that I've played, because you're getting that, you know, super boutique style guitar, you know, but Dan really knows his way around the old Fender stuff, and he's got a handful of old Fenders that he can reference and everything when building these. He does the carve on his necks himself, and they match the specs of a couple vintage Fenders that he has, you know. There's going to be guys that say these are parts casters and that he's not, you know, building his own bodies and necks, but it's not true, man. Alright, so we covered a little bit of this in the last video, but I'll go over it again. So Dan Strain started building guitars for himself using licensed Fender parts. And he was just buying parts, building guitars for himself, and a lot of his buddies loved them, so he started building them, you know, full-time kind of. And I guess Fender came after him for a while, because he was using Fender parts and whatnot, and using the Fender logo on them. And after that, he switched to what they call the Freakin' era. So it used to say Freakin' Danocaster on the headstock. And I believe at that time he was still using the exact same shape as, you know, Fender stuff, same headstock shape and everything. And again, I believe Fender came after him for that. So he stopped using licensed parts for Fender, doesn't use licensed parts anymore, and came up with his own Danocaster logo, so that he could kind of establish his own brand and not have to put Fender on the headstock or anything like that. And he was taking custom orders for a long time, and then he got so overwhelmed with custom orders, he had like over a year wait time, that he closed down his shop in 2019, I believe it was, and said, I'm not making any more guitars, Danocaster is going to be no more. And then a little over a year later, in 2020, I think, he said, alright, I'm going to open up Danocaster again, but I'm not gonna make any custom orders. Like, you can't custom order anything. I'm only gonna build what I want to build. And he builds, you know, a lot of tellies, strats, and some offsets as well. So this is one of those. Like I said earlier in the video, this is a 2021 June, and I think that honestly, the other Danocaster that I have is a 2014, and you know, those 7 years difference in him building, it kind of shows. This one is has a little bit more attention to detail. The other one is amazing, don't get me wrong, but just the finishing on this one is insane. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up in the camera, but on this one here, the finish is very transparent, especially right here. It gets really light from where your arm would wear on it. So instead of just taking off all the paint here like what a custom shop fender would be like, the paint is very thin here, and you know, it's wearing like how it would wear if you rubbed your hand on it for 50 years, you know. There's still a finish there, but it's just very transparent, and you can see it's turning less of that butterscotch color and more of just like your standard blonde color. You know, a lot of the black guards, Fender called this blonde. They didn't call it butterscotch. So a lot of those original black guards started off as a much lighter color than they are now, because when they age, they turn a little bit yellow. So this one, the color on this, it might be a little hard to pick it up in the camera, but it's very authentic, and it's not that super yellow butterscotch color that you'll get on like a new Fender. You know, it's much more of like an actual blonde that's see-through, and you can see the grain. This is a one-piece ash body as well. I don't think I mentioned that before, but one piece. It's like 7.4 pounds, so it's not super light, but it's definitely like at an average weight, maybe a little under. You know, so it's under 7.5 pounds, which is pretty crazy for being a one-piece ash body too. So I don't know what else to say, man. These things are fantastic, and
what are you playing through, Nathan?
We're playing through a 1959 Tweed Vibrolux. It's got a replaced handle on it, but other than that, it's straight, and it has the original Jensen P10R speaker in it. So yeah, a little 12-watt amp or so with a 110. So I'll switch through some of the pickup combinations and see how it sounds. And there's no reverb on this, so it's just a dry tone here. Cool, so we're down here at ZIMM'S Guitars and Danocaster Telecaster from June of 2021. Thanks for checking it out.